Hey, aloha everyone. Michelle Melendez with Blossom Inner Wellness and StandTogetherHawaii.com. If you're listening on the Voice of Kona radio here on the Big Island, much Mahalo Nui Loa, or on the Sovereign Radio, thank you for joining. I'm here with Tammy Perkins, who is the chair of the Republican Party on Maui, and she has got some things to share, you guys. You got to check this out. Tammy, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Michelle. It's nice to be here.
So, you first well, actually, was it I saw you or something happened and I was like, we have to get together. And that's how this whole video started. So, what is something that you'd like to share with the world about what's going on in Maui with the Republican Party?
Well, I think in general, the Hawaii Republican Party is where the problem lies. Um, and I was telling you before, what bothers me most is all the lies and the deception that's out there, about the Hawaii Republican Party. Everything seems to be smooth running on the outside. Everything you see and hear, the current chair is just, the best he can be. And oh my gosh, everything's so fantastic. But behind the scenes, it's a different story. And I'm probably the only county chair standing up other than the Kauai County chair and the Honolulu, uh, well, the national committee man is also standing up to really say, hey, wait a second, some of the things that you're doing just doesn't add up and it's not going by the bylaws. And as everybody knows, we as members have a contract with the Hawaii Republican Party as a member. So you really have to either dig your heels in and just follow whoever's doing what and just tell me what to do, or you really pay attention and you really are interested in enough to kind of read some material, read some documentation, try to understand the Robert's Rules of Order, read the bylaws. A lot of people don't do that. They just, I don't know why, but we're living in a society right now that,
Mhm.
is very questionable.
So, you're the chair for the Republican Party in Maui. Who
Mhm.
is the actual chair of the entire Republican Party in the state?
His name is Art Hanneman, and that is a cousin to Mufi Hanneman. So if you've been in politics and you know anything about names, then you'll know who that is. But the thing is that, he was part of a scam in, I think, 2018. I know it was a while ago. It was an insurance scam, and he's got a lot of nefarious things. He's never really run one state committee meeting to this day since he took seat. He turns it over to his
Wow.
vice chair, or the vice chair just controls it. So, and that's violations too. And that's not upholding your oath of office or anything else like that. And really, there's so much that they're doing to try to control the whole state versus letting the people control the party. They're trying to control the people in the party. And that's where I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. So I've just started to, um, compile a case against them so that way I could file something in court and on a civil case.
So what exactly have they done? Because against the people and against the party?
Well, to name a few things, I mean, it's a broad range, but the first the first violations is basically to provide notice, agenda, or minutes. So on several meetings, no proper notice, agenda or minutes for executive committee meetings was provided to the members. So that's a violation of bylaws, Robert's rules, several places in Robert's rules, actually. Another thing is that they have improperly created a standing discipline committee. And this was adopted without a proper vote of the state convention. And so that's in violations of the HRB bylaws and Robert's rules.
What is the standing disciplinary committee? What is that?
So they can discipline the counties, or they can remove something that the county has done to their members per their bylaws. So they want control over the counties. They want to be able to discipline the counties. They want to be able to have control from the top down versus having the counties be responsible and accountable for their own county. So they came up with this, let's create a standing discipline committee, but you can't do that without a proper vote at the state convention which happens every single year. So the next state convention is in May 2026. So they went ahead and did it anyway. So it's in violations of the HRP bylaw 109 and 413, Robert's rules 69 and 59 through 12. So this is, where people just like, they get like so frustrated. They're like, well, and they don't know what to do,
Mhm,
because they see that and they just have to go along and because they really are a little naive when it comes
mhm.
to understanding the actual rules. But I was state rules chair for a little while, so I understand the rules. I've sat on the rules committee on the state level for several years, so I understand a little bit more about the rules than most.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you're right. It's like people are so busy. They get I'm gonna be on the Republican Party. But if you're gonna be on a Republican Party, you need to read through what the rules are and understand really what's going on. And it does take time. It does take time to learn that. So, is there anything else you want to share about this? This is pretty massive. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's pretty
like shocked
massive.
right now about
Yeah,
what you're telling me, especially the disciplinary committee
yeah,
that
they
wasn't
create
voted on. That's freaking communism right there.
exactly.
That's communism.
I know. Well, they not only that, they also did an improper appointment of a finance chair. So they've elected or not elected, they've appointed an individual that is not in good standing with the Maui County Republican Party. Actually, this person was censured by the Maui County Republican Party. But they appointed her. So, and they did that without state committee approval as well. And that's contrary to our own bylaws, bylaw 416. And so that they want to do that, but they can't do that because she's been censured. So they had to create a way. So they created a standing discipline committee so that way they could uncensor her and take control over the counties so that way they can do what they want.
That is communism right there, because what that just basically takes dictatorship over the people and over a part. This is unbelievable.
They're no longer conservative. It's not no longer a conservative party. But anyway, I'm going to do a few other things just briefly. They have failure to provide their financial statements. So they've not completed any financial statement that has been made available for any member. So that's a violation of our bylaw. They're violating their oaths of office. They are using proxy voting, which is a violation. They appointed an executive director with no state committee approval and started paying her salary of $6,000 a month. This is a violation of several things. And then they've been suppressing the members' rights. So when you get on a meeting and you call a point of order, that's an interruptible motion, but they shut you down. They don't let you speak and they coerce you or they, you know, belittle you or, they mute you. They don't even let you speak. So this is just some of the violations that have been going on. And now it's a continuation of violations that are now run into the IPPRC, which is the issues platform, you know, committee. And, they're trying to, even though they have good intentions, they're just totally violating the bylaws because they're not allowing all the members of that standing committee to participate. So, they just send out to whoever and they just start doing it and they just make decisions and, go on. And even though I'm there saying, hey, point of order, stop, we have to get all of our standing members involved in this conversation because it's serious. They just say, oh, we're going to just do whatever we want to do anyway, and they just move along. So basically, it's come down to the point where now, you know, the only recourse I have is to throw it in front of a judge in Maui County on the civic level.
Yeah. So what charges are you bringing up against them?
Well, basically, it's a violation of a Hawaii revised statute. And let me just bring it up real quick. I think it's statute 429. So Hawaii statute 429. And basically, let me just see.
And also, when did this corruption start? When did this literal takeover of the Republican Party in Hawaii, when did this start? Was it under this chair? Was it before him?
No, well, the chair before Art Hanneman was like, "Oh my god, I don't wanna be a part of this if I can't make a difference," you know? And I was really called to do something. So I was really internally praying and calling, like, "What can I do?" You know? And then I landed up in there to try to help. I got on the rules committee and I just next thing you know, I'm really deep in it. And then I started really having an understanding of what was happening behind the scenes. And then, everything was going great until Art Hanneman took it over, and then now it's just totally socialism. It's like taken right out of the communism playbook. I mean, everything, every tactic that they're doing and everything else like that. So basically, the only recourse that I have right now as a member is to file something with under the Hawaii Revised Statute, Chapter 429, which is governs an unincorporated nonprofit association, a UNA. So they are an unincorporated nonprofit association. So underneath the Hawaii Revised Statutes, that means that I have a contract with them, and that contract means that they are to uphold their own bylaws. That is the contract. I joined as a member expecting them to uphold the bylaws, uphold the principles, the moral fiber of the conservative party and stuff like that. They're violating all of that. You know, they're basically just pissing all over it, I guess. So the rights of members, you know, those contractual rights under the association's governing documents, which is their bylaws, you know, they have fiduciary duties, you know,
Hmm.
they're violating all that right now. So the only way for accountability and relief is to do, you know, because they're acting in what they call ultra vires, which is beyond their authority. The only way I can do anything is to challenge those acts in court and hopefully get injunctive relief, which means that I can make them follow the bylaws. I can have a judge, you know, rescind all of the meetings that were done illegally and outside of the bylaws. So all those motions and all those standing committees and everything they're doing right now be null and void. And so that's my goal.
When are you filing this?
Well, right now I'm just waiting for two appeals. I've got it's a process because under the bylaws, you know, when you're a member, you know, you have a meeting, say for example, and then you don't agree with something at that meeting because you know that it's a violation of a bylaw. What you have to do is you have to file an objection to the actions taken. And you really don't have very long to do that. You know, I think it's within a week or something. And then within 5 days after that, they have to respond. So basically, you have a meeting, you file an objection to actions taken at that meeting because they violated a bylaw. You have to wait 5 days for them to respond. And every response is, oh, it's moot. It doesn't matter. Oh, you know, whatever. So then you have to file an appeal of that decision. And so once you file an appeal of that decision, then they have 30 days to get it in front of the state committee. And will they respond? Who knows? Will it go in front of the state committee? Who knows? But until that end of that time comes, then I can't give that as evidence to the court of, hey,
Oh, I see.
all the due process. I attended the meeting. I did this. I followed that. I did this. And they're still not adhering to the bylaws. So I'm trying to gain as much of that evidence as I can before I go in. And I've got two appeals that are pending. So probably realistically, it's going to probably be the first week in October.
Why do you think they're doing this? I mean, if it's so blatant and they're obviously breaking the rules, I'm just like, other than I know that this state is taken over. It's just so this when I was hearing you and we were talking earlier, this is just blowing my mind. I mean, is there any agent or agency or office in Hawaii that is not absolutely corrupt? I don't know. I'm
You
just,
know, all of the ones that matter have
yeah.
corruption in them. Yeah. So And it's because, good people sat by and did nothing because we expect everybody else, the good ones or other people that are interested in doing that to take care of us, right? And to
Mhm.
step up but that's really hasn't been the case. And it's all by design too. I mean, this is a calculated, um, you
Yeah.
know, demolition basically
Yeah.
of our Constitution and our fundamental freedom, and rights. And so, the governor is keeping us in emergency proclamation. He keeps doing that and doing that and doing that. And when he does that, he bypasses all public opinion. So
Yeah.
we're really in a mess, but
Yes, yeah. Yeah, just for those of you who don't know, and I've been putting this out, but if you don't know, he has signed 9 emergency proclamations based on administrative issues like not having enough school bus drivers, suspended 32 laws, bidding law, there's procedural laws that he's suspended, so many laws, all without the legislative body, all without public testimony. Nobody's checking him. So I have put in out a notice to not to our senators, our Hawaii representatives, as well as Attorney General. These people are kind of in his back pocket, though. So, but this does go on record. This does go on record that that we are filing these complaints. So that is what we can do. And you guys watching, join standtogetherhawaii.com if you're on the islands, standtogetherhawaii.com, because I do put out action steps and we need numbers. If we want to take back our freedom, we need numbers. So, Tammy, is there anything else you want to share about this story? This is absolutely insane. Um,
yeah, I mean, some of the some of the stories would blow your mind, but I basically started a petition. So, and I might change it from change.org, but right now it's on change.org, and I'll send you a link to that. Maybe you can share it.
mhm,
Trying to just hold the Hawaii Republican Party accountable. If we can just do that, I mean, I hold myself accountable.
mhm.
I don't mind being held accountable, and I don't mind, a good debate, or even a good discussion on anything. But the Hawaii Republican Party is not representing the conservative voice here in the Hawaiian Islands, and they are definitely not doing us a good service. So, share the petition. You could keep following. I do a monthly newsletter, and so if anybody wants to sign up to receive that, they can I guess I can give you my contact information on that so you can share it. So that if they want to sign up for that and get a link.
Do you have a website they can sign up for it at?
Well, I don't have a website, not a website that I want to give out right now
Okay.
because it's all linked to the Hawaii Republican Party. So I'm peeling it away so that way we really get the patriots to come over because, you know, every conservative tribe is going to have to unite. Okay.
Yeah. We
If
have to unite together.
that's right.
Yeah. Like,
And
yeah, we have different patriot influencers and everything, and I would like us just to come together under one. And
yeah,
it doesn't have to be mine. I'll join whomever and
I
bring
don't
my
care.
people
I'll join.
along,
Yeah,
just
I'll
one,
join. Yeah.
because this is insane.
This
I
is
mean,
insane, and we're really down to the wire, and especially with the last couple bills that went through that governor signed. I mean, he literally somebody can come in and take your land, take your house, take your animals, take your pets, and you don't have a say. So unless you're in the common law arena, you are a subject to the state. So, this is also something that, is another topic of discussion for another time, but people need to start waking up. So I hope that they
yeah.
do.
Do you know that Hawaii is in the state of an emergency? The Hawaii governor has signed 9 emergency proclamations based on administrative issues and suspended 32 laws, all without legislation. He signed a biosecurity office into the Hawaii Ag Department, allowing that office to go onto your private property and confiscate your land, livestock, food, and whatever else they want in the name of biosecurity, and all without due process. To learn more, go to standtogetherhawaii.com. That's standtogetherhawaii.com. Yeah, and you're talking about the biosecurity law that was just passed.
correct.
Biosecurity law, you guys, really quick. That is a law that puts a biosecurity office, hasn't been put in place yet, but it allows for a biosecurity office to go into the Hawaii Ag Department, which then can go onto your private property without due process,
Correct.
grab your land, grab your livestock, grab your food, grab whatever it is that they want under the guise of biosecurity, keeping everybody safe, and also all without due process, all without legislation. And it's absolutely disgusting. That bill is a law right now in the Hawaii Islands. That's what
Yeah,
she's
so
talking
we
about.
have to fight that law because it violates our freedoms, it violates our rights to be sovereign, and I mean, our Constitution is clear, but yes, it just goes around it, and so, all in the matter of health or protection for your neighbor or whatever it is, or whatever they deem they want to call it. It's all lies and it's all just bullshit, but
Hmm.
we
Yep.
got to stand strong. I want everybody to have a tough skin right now, because we need to get tough. We're going to have to be able to, you know, um, handle pushback. We're going to have to be headstrong when it comes to standing for what we believe in and standing for our beliefs and our
Hmm.
freedoms because our freedoms are being slowly, taken away.
Hmm.
And we're agreeing to it because we don't know, like we're not educating our neighbor, and so we need to educate our people.
I was just at the grocery store talking with someone and telling them about the bios. And I always talk to people when I'm out. And I'm like, do you guys know what's going on? Do you know about the biosecurity law that just passed? Da, da, da. They're like, no, no, no. And I'm like, so I tell people, join standtogetherhawaii.com because this is coming down the pipe. So I just want to
Yeah.
say thank you again, Tammy. Is there anything else you want to say? And then we'll do a prayer or a
No,
visualization.
I just want to thank you because your voice really matters. I know there's a big following. I know a lot of people have, really learned a lot through your voice. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. All right. Thank you for that. Mahalo, Great Spirit. Oh my goodness. What a game we came to play together. First, we just give so much Mahalo Nui Loa for Tammy and her courage to stand up against this dictatorship, this communism that is coming in through the Republican Party here in the state of Hawaii, in the islands of Hawaii. And Great Spirit, we just call forth right now that angels are always around her, that she's always protected and guided and supported. And we know that she is, and we know that that is done. And we also call forth that there are angels around the Republican Party who call themselves leaders right now in this present moment that are bringing in communism. And we bind them, Great Spirit, we bind them with the Christ consciousness of unconditional love, with the frequency of aloha, that their hearts be turned to doing what is right for the people, or they are peaceably removed from office, and they have no more power. Great Spirit, we call that forth now. We know that anything that we feel in our hearts, that we see in our mind's eye through our imagination, that it is put into the field of infinite possibilities and that it manifests for us, and we call it forth now. Great Spirit, we are so grateful for all light warriors around the world right now that are speaking truth, that are standing up for what is right, not what is easy, but what is right. Great Spirit, we know that all of them are protected, are guided, and are supported in whatever way that they need. And we call forth right now that the frequency of aloha touches anybody right now that feels alone. To anybody right now that feels that they don't matter and is hopeless right now, we send them a spark of aloha that life can get better. We look and we see and we feel that we have clean air, that we have clean water, that we have clean soil, that our food is vibrant and healthy in our bodies, that the leaders of our country and our world are kind, aloha loving people, that they value human rights, that they value freedom, that they value our children. We call that forth now. Angels, we call forth that you be with anybody who is now being held against their will, that you hold them with love and with aloha, and that you guide them to the light of freedom. We call that forth now. We know it is done. We demand it happen. And we give so much gratitude to the angels and the guides that are doing this work behind the scenes in the other dimensions that we cannot see. We do what is right. We do what we're called to do from our hearts, and we leave the rest to you, Great Spirit. We trust you. We know that you are moving the sun across the sky, that you are guiding the honeybees to their flowers, and you are guiding each one of us to doing our kuleana. And we are stepping forward in courage and in love and in aloha. We call that forth now, Great Spirit. Thank you so, so much. Mahalo Nui Loa. And so it is.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Amen.
thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you, Tammy. I really appreciate you. You guys follow standtogetherhawaii.com. And if you are a YouTube influencer, let's get together. Let's work together on this so that we can bring back freedom to all the Hawaii Islands. Much aloha, everyone.
Bye.